Welcome to
What?
The game.
Me.
To me.
Cool. We're live. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of my NFL Smackdown series. Got another bunch of great guys, actually the winners from all of their different divisions, East, North, West, and South. So glad to have these guys on tonight. Got Sam, Greg, another Greg, and then Tim representing their squads. In order to move on and advance to the final head-to-head Super Bowl Smackdown. So first, like I said in my comments and description, I wanted to start the episode a little bit different tonight. Talking about all the news, the major news going on with the different, major sports. Of course, postponing whether it be practices, games. Deciding whether they want to continue their seasons and everything. Of course, to the response of what's going on, Wisconsin with Jacob Blake. So just kind of wanted to get everybody's take on it. And just talk about, what their overall thought reactions have been, and maybe even things they maybe saw in the media, heard in the media that's kind of like, touched them, or just something, that's been on their mind. So I'm gonna start off with my guy Sam, since he's right here to my right, and we'll just work our way around.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Sam Block. I have a podcast every Tuesday night called Buzzer Beaters, also on Facebook Live. Happy to be on the show today with these great guys, and I'm representing the Indianapolis Colts out of the AFC South. So yeah, I mean, when I saw the video with Jacob Blake, it definitely was pretty horrifying. Definitely hated what I was watching, and it really, I feel like anybody watching that video, you either cry or shocked or speechless or scream or something. So definitely tough to see, and I hated to see it. It seems like there's a new video every week, and I feel like that has to stop. And I definitely was appreciative of the reaction of these athletes who have a big platform and kind of use their voice to stand up for what they believe in. It's interesting, 4 years to the day of when Kaepernick first took his knee, this was happening yesterday with the cancellation of some of these games. And I feel like, sports, we all love sports, so it's definitely tough to see like the NBA not play a playoff game, but clearly there's things more important than sports, even though we love it. So I think it was cool to see the athletes kind of stand up for what they believe in and really come together as one unit and figure out what was best moving forward.
Yes, sir.
Good take. My name's Greg Irvin. I'm representing the world champion Chiefs. Yeah, and I'm excited to be here again. Thanks for having me on, Jelani. It's been nice meeting you and doing your podcast with you.
Yes, sir. Of course.
And also on the video, man. It took me a day to even watch it because I already knew what was up. I saw the Facebook post coming in, when it happened, and started seeing all the news, and I just didn't even want to look at it. It took me a whole day. I just watched it, today, the actual video, and it's just like. Like you talked to and alluded to, Kaepernick saw this long time ago and was pissed off and had enough, years ago, and he decided to, speak out on it. But, I believe everything is environmental. And, right now, and what I mean by that is like right now, the environment is different than it was back then. That's why we see the movement of things going the direction that they're going. And I think it's important to keep it going because so many times that, the event happens, it gets a couple days of news and then it fades away and then goes back to the same old. But there's an environment that's different this time around that has people energized and wanting to continue, with the push and the movement for justice and equality. I mean, you just see the difference in how Black people, the system treats them versus the system treating white people, and that has to change. It has to change, and I'm glad that the athletes are doing something about it because they do have a platform. And being a former athlete myself, I've been in those locker rooms where you've got black guys, you got white guys, you got Mexican guys, you got, all these people from all over the world. And they somehow in sports are able to come together behind a common, goal of winning a championship. And they put all their, their past behind them, and they come together as one. And I think that's what sports can teach us. If we really look at it, sports is trying to show us that that's how we're going to get better. That's what it's going to take. But society as a whole, we just haven't gotten there yet. Sports have figured it out. I've got buddies that I played ball with. Nowadays with the political outlook and environment that we're in right now, you're either Trump or you're not, and that's really volatile. And some of my best friends in college, they're Trump guys. I'm not a Trump guy, and we go back and forth at it, on Facebook and online. But at the end of the day, that was my left guard. He blocked for me, and I still love him. And we can have our disagreements, but at the end of the day, we still good. But the rest of America hasn't figured that out. It's like, if you're not on the same page, that's it. I hate you now. I can't talk to you. We can't engage, and we can't listen and learn and grow from each other. That's my take on that.
Totally agree. Jets, Greg.
What's up, guys? Greg, residing in Arizona, from Jersey. Of course, representing the JETS, Jets. I can't give it too much more energy because there's a lot of turmoil over there with the coaching staff and the leadership right now. But I'm hoping with the new GM, we can maybe turn this thing around. As far as the latest events, it's all the same thing to me. I mean, I've seen it all my life. It's all the same thing. So I don't even have to watch it. I already know what the end looks like, and I know what the outcome is. I think the challenging part is not so much the people. I think it's a lot with the propaganda. I think how they kind of wordplay that they kind of use. And I think that causes people to kind of develop sort of an opinion or an idea that might not be true. So it's very easy to say, yeah, that guy's probably on drugs. And then once it demonizes the person, until you actually find out it wasn't the case, it still created this little thing. Or you can talk to the person about, like, hey, this person, loved the military. And then people will think something else about him, even though he just committed the same type of crime. So I think the media kind of propagates that a little bit. But as far as the people, a lot of that is, again, it's media-based. It's what people are seeing on TV and not actually having a conversation or critically thinking things through. They just go with what's on TV and the latest, what do you call that? The snapshots, or what do you call those? Where they take a little excerpt from you. People just go with that.
Sound bites.
Sound bites in Facebook. And that's what people run with, and they'll argue with you in the street about that. So I think that's a big part of it. But I think that the awareness that's coming with it. So when Kaepernick did it, it was easy to just say, man, hey, you. But now the whole team or entire organizations are rallying behind that. And that's what people notice, like, hey, maybe this does have some merit, or maybe there is some traction on this. So it at least got us going in the right direction. But this isn't nothing new. But I do think we're going in the right direction.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Then we'll wrap it up. Well, I'll wrap it up, but I'll let Tim, of course, introduce yourself, and then team you're repping, and then your thoughts as well.
How you guys doing? I'm Tim from Hometown Crowd podcast. I am here representing the AFC North and the Cleveland Browns. It's one of those things that I feel almost unqualified to talk about. I support what the players are doing. I support everything. I think the NBA should cancel the season. I think the WNBA will cancel the season. I don't know if you guys saw the shirts that the WNBA players were wearing with the bullet holes in the back, but I thought that was extremely powerful.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to see Major League Baseball finally getting on board. I'm very glad to see that the NHL, while a little bit late, is getting on board. They canceled games today and tomorrow. Basketball has always been at the front of this. I speak as somebody who doesn't know what it's like to be in that situation. you spoke about how Kaepernick was 4 years ago yesterday taking a knee. I'm a veteran, and I'm here to tell you, not every veteran is upset about the fact that Kaepernick takes a knee or that these players are taking a knee. We support. There are a lot of us that support these players.
That's what's
Yes,
up.
sir. Yes, sir. And yeah, I mean, I'm about to start talking, but guys, excuse my camera. It's gonna lag a little bit to probably halfway to the episode, starts getting in. But I guess this is my thoughts, reaction. Kind of like both Greg said. I didn't fully watch the video, first surface, of course, because I already kind of knew the outcome, knew what was gonna happen. But fortunately, he was. I mean, it's not really fortunate, but I guess obviously he's one of the luckier ones to have survived. This type of honestly terroristic attack, on him. So, hopefully he has a speedy recovery and he's able, to come back to full health. I think I heard he's paralyzed, and I also heard I think they have him handcuffed to his hospital. I don't know if it's true or not, but I hopped on with you guys, but it's just like he's still seen as a threat and he's paralyzed. I don't know if it's from the waist down, from chest down, whatever the case may be, but it's like why is he handcuffed to the hospital bed? It's just sickening as a whole. And I guess to talk about the players in the different different leagues or whatever. Of course, yes, like Tim just said, WNBA has been ahead of everything. They always are. I definitely want to shout out those ladies and give them their props because they someone said it today, they probably have the most to lose, but it's like they don't really care. Like, they're already the most underly paid or disgustingly underly paid athletes for a major sports league. They also, have to pretty much have sponsors and different things in order to even have funding to even put on their games and put on their league. So they always have, the most to lose, but they always are in the forefront of all of this. Like you said, their Jacob Blake shirts was, powerful statement. I'm glad they're continuing to, push forward for change as well. Just like the WNBA or not WNBA, sorry, NBA. One thing I did notice, like you guys just said, Kaepernick, took a knee 4 years ago to the date yesterday. It always seems like there has to be a villain before things come to light. Because even like before the NBA restarted, Kyrie was the first person saying like, "Hey, I don't think this is the right environment right now to even start playing games again because nothing's really been solved, nothing's happened. It's just like we're protesting in the street and it's going to fade away. Like it would probably be more powerful to, of course, not play and then I guess have the platform and play, which of course there's two sides to both stories. Like there's definitely been benefits this has came back, and then it's also been, I guess this is kind of seen as a negative, obviously, because it just shows that nothing has changed. But it's just like, why don't people see, or kind of like Greg said, just kind of realize, talk it out, realize maybe differences or whatever. Just kind of, it don't have to be like a right or wrong thing all the time. Just kind of seeing perspective and seeing viewpoints. Like both Kaepernick had a point when he took a knee, and his stance and his agenda hasn't changed. Same thing with Kyrie when he first was speaking out before the NBA decided to come back. His stance didn't change, but it's like they were villainized and basically put down over stuff that is happening now. Like literally they had a players meeting yesterday, and there's certain people that's getting the glory, getting the coins or whatever, but it's like there's people that spoke out about it beforehand. But like you said, like you guys kind of allude to as well, I'm glad to see these different sports leagues kind of come together. I think Sam, your team ended up either postponing or not practicing today. I know a few teams in the
I
NFL
think there were 8 of them.
Yeah, 8 of them. Yeah, and then of course some of the MLB teams didn't play their games last night as well. Unfortunately, my Mets, they were one of the teams that played, and actually I don't even know if you saw it or not, Sam. Brody, they got little sound clips. He basically called out Rob Manfred, who wanted to basically stage a little political stunt to have them kind of I don't know if it was come out to the field to basically say they're not going to play, but then come out an hour later and play. It's just stuff like that just shows like higher powers or people that's in certain situations don't get it. They don't understand the things that we face as African Americans every single day. It's like they see it as kind of like a joke. Like they just want to put on a good face in front for the media because obviously that's just disgusting. Like why would you kind of try to show solidarity and then go out and play a game an hour later? Like you're not a major league sports team. Like we're not gonna find out. Like stuff like that is just yeah, just demeaning, and it's kind of honestly, I see it as like, kind of disrespectful. Well, obviously it's disrespectful, but it's disrespect to the African American community as a whole, and Jacob Blake, and his family as well. Like you said, I'm glad to see the team, the different sports leagues are unifying. Decided to do what they did yesterday. I've heard, of course, the NBA is going to continue to play. I don't really know off of what stances. Hopefully, maybe they got the owners and front offices to commit to do something to help. But like you said, like Tim said, I think the WNBA, they possibly might cancel. If anyone's going to cancel, they're going to cancel. But like I said, we'll just kind of, I guess, got to kind of like wait and see. It's, just another discussion act, but it just sees and shows that we haven't come as far as, as we think we have, in my opinion.
If I may weigh in real quick.
Yeah, of course.
You mentioned, ownership and everybody getting on board. Cleveland announced today that the 3 major sports teams were joining forces to work on an initiative.
Yeah.
So the Indians, the Browns, and the Cavs, the general manager and the coach from each team are leading an initiative that's actually helping or planning on helping on increasing voter turnout and education and improving police relations and stuff like that. That came out today.
Yeah. Yep. I did definitely see that. And just stuff like that, hopefully it continues to happen across, the different organizations and different teams and everything. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for, coming on, sharing your thoughts and everything that's going on, in the sports world. But I said, got smack talk to get to. We're gonna hop on into lighter things. And just get this show on the road to see who's gonna, advance on to be crowned, NFL Smack Talk champion, or get to face the NFC winner to be, possibly crowned Smack Talk champion. So pretty much how today's show is gonna go. I know if you've seen the ones in the past, I pretty much had a few questions and posed it to guys, let them kind of argue it. It's gonna be something a little bit similar, but I actually wrote up 5 different questions for each team and their representative. So pretty much the only answer choices they can give is either a yes or a no. They can't defend it yet. I gotta ask the question, you give a yes or no, and then I'll let the other guys pretty much talk about it, whether they agree, whether they disagree, just their overall thoughts on, your answer choices. And then I'll let you guys defend yourselves and, talk about your reasoning why you said yes or no to those questions. Then we'll go through different records, whether teams may make playoffs or not, different things like that. So should be an action-packed show. I'm really waiting to see what these guys have to say about their different, respective teams, respective squads. So we'll just hop on in it. I'm gonna start with Greg. I know my camera's froze. I can just ignore that. I got an ugly looking face right now, but it's all right. It'll pop back up. But I'm gonna start off with Greg, of course, since he's the world champion. He has it in the parentheses, world champion chief. So my first 5 questions for you, sir. I'll ask. The first one is gonna be, will Mahomes win MVP this year?
Yes.
Okay. 2 is, will y'all have 3 1,000-yard receivers / tight ends this year?
No.
Okay. I forgot. I'm gonna say it. We got guys that actually, they know their sports. They know their stuff. So they're gonna be, reasonable with their answer choices. But I just try to throw little curveballs here and there. I just wanted to see what you say. But number 3, will y'all lose more than 3 games this year?
No.
Okay. Will y'all go back to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
And will y'all win the Super Bowl? Repeat champions?
Yes.
All right.
No bias there, right?
Yeah, no bias. So just to recap, will Mahomes win the MVP this year? He said yes. Will you have 3 1,000-yard receivers, tight ends this year? He said no. Will y'all lose more than 3 games? He said no. Will y'all go back to the Super Bowl? Yes. Will y'all win the Super Bowl? Yes. So what do you guys think? I'm gonna start off with Sam.
Yeah. So do you want me to respond to all 5 of his answers?
Yep. You can just all 5.
All right.
Or, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, starting off with the Mahomes question. I mean, I actually agree with him. Listen, Lamar Jackson won it last year, and usually I feel like guys don't necessarily repeat. Like, people know what to expect from Lamar now. I don't necessarily think he's going to top what he did last year. I think he could be maybe just as good, but I think Mahomes, he was banged up a little last year. He wasn't voted. I don't know if he cares, but he wasn't voted the number 1 player in the league by the players on the NFL Network. He was voted number 4. I think Mahomes is the best player in the league, so I think he's going to show it this year. So I agree that, yes, he will win the MVP. The 3 1,000-yard receivers, Greg said no. I'm going to agree with him. I think Tyreek Hill will. I think Travis Kelce will. But I think Mahomes will spread it around to the other guys. Hardman and Watkins is always banged up. And they have a lot of guys. Robinson played a little last year. But overall, they don't necessarily have a clear guy after that will definitely be a 1,000-yard receiver. So I agree with him that it's a no. Although you never know with Edwards-Helaire or DeAndre Washington catching the ball out of the backfield if they could do it. But I'll stick with his no answer. When he said they won't lose more than 3 games, I actually disagree. I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to be the 1 seed in the AFC, but I have them going 12-4. So I disagree. I do think they're going to lose slightly more than 3 games. But back to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, I actually agree. Listen, I think they're going to go back and repeat. I think Mahomes is that good. Andy Reid is that good. The running game should be strong, even though they lost Damian Williams. I mean, I love what they have all over the field. And like Greg was talking about earlier before the show, their defense started to improve as the year went on last year with some of the pickups they made. So I actually, if I had to pick somebody to win the Super Bowl, I'd probably go repeat Chiefs. So I agree with Greg on those 2.
You don't think there's any team, whether within the AFC or NFC, that's gotten a little bit better this year to where they may be able to challenge them?
Oh, definitely a lot of challengers. I mean, I think Tim's Browns are going to be better. I'm not going to go as far as to say Greg's Jets, but I think Tim's Browns will be better. I think my Colts will be better. I think the Ravens are clearly contenders, and I think even the Patriots bringing in Cam Newton. I thought after they lost Brady, they may have been done. I didn't really believe in Stidham and Brian Hoyer, but once they brought in Cam, I think they're a real threat as well. But I think there's a bunch of teams. The Bills should be solid, but if I had to choose, I'd say the Chiefs repeat. And I think in the NFC, you have a lot of teams that are solid, the Niners and the Packers and the Saints. And, clearly the Chiefs aren't a lock to win the Super Bowl. But if I had to choose, I'd pick them to repeat.
Okay. Solid points. Greg, what do you think about his answer choices?
Me?
Oh yeah, my fault. Jets, Greg. I'm at the.
I'm trying to figure out which one. As far as Greg answers, I see 13-3. I can see that. I see that Baltimore game as being the problem in Baltimore. That's early in the season too. It's gonna be a problem. But he already conceded that could be a game. But the rest of it, I think he already said what it is. I don't have to defend you. You have to score 35 points. I don't know how many teams can score 35 points every week, but I don't think the majority of them can. So I think that's the offense, and with the weapons, the way it's set up. I'm like, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is like your 3rd or 4th option. That's a scary 3rd or 4th option. Somebody better watch that guy. So I do think it'll be like a 13-3. I can see that happening. If a 4th game happens, some injuries, I can see that. But 13-3 from what it looks like healthy. Will they repeat at the Super Bowl? Man, Denver went and loaded up, man. Denver loaded up on some serious firepower to match off what Kansas City's doing. However, it just ain't enough because Drew Lock is not Patrick Mahomes, and that's going to be the difference maker. And but it's going to be a nice little thing they got going. And then the question was, can you repeat?
Yeah.
I think if I got the information correct, is it 20 of 22 players returned from last year from the Super Bowl team?
Yeah.
From earlier this year. So that's scary. So they don't even need preseason. It's the same exact format with the same people you just went to war with in January. So that right there, they're going to get a great head start over everyone else just from that. Edwards-Helaire will figure it out. Just run around these people out there. We'll get you open. And I forgot the 4th question. What was the 4th one?
I think the 4th one basically was go back to Super Bowl and then repeat the Super Bowl. But the other one was will Mahomes win the MVP this year?
I'm gonna be honest with you. If Edwards-Helaire looks anything like he looked in college, if he looks anywhere remotely near that, then yeah, there's gonna be a lot of extra passing yards, TDs. It's going. Man, what did Joe Burrow? How many touchdowns did he throw last year? Like 60?
Something crazy, yeah. I think it might have been 60.
Something like that.
Everybody got something, but Hilaire got a nice little chunk of those right there. So if he mess around and get, I'll even be nice and say 5 or 6 touchdowns in the air. Man, that's gonna have Mahomes. Yeah, he can get it. He can get it. You're not a one trick.
All right. Seems like everybody's in agreement so far with the world champ playing nice. But let's see what Tim has to say.
Let's see. Let's run through it. Patrick Mahomes as MVP. I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to say no. And that's a little bit to be different, but at some point he's going to. He's not going to have a horrible year, but he's going to backslide a little. Every quarterback does. Nobody puts up consistent numbers every year. People are gunning for Mahomes this year, so I think it's probably a year that he slides back just a bit. 300 or 1,000-yard catch is. I'll defer to you on that one and say no. Let's see, what else did we have? 13-3. Looking at the schedule, I think there's only 3, maybe 4 competitors on your schedule. So yeah, I think 13-3 or 14-3. Is it 16 or 17 games this year?
16.
Yeah, 16.
Okay. Is it next year 17?
Yeah, something like that. Either a year or 2 out. They're gonna try to extend it. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Game or 2.
Then 13-3, I think, is more than doable. I think you've got obviously the game in Baltimore, but you've also got games in New Orleans, and we still don't know how well that Tampa Bay team is going to gel. And you can't count out any Brady-led team. And playing in Tampa Bay, those are a couple of question marks, but I don't think you lose more than those 3. Repeat AFC champs. I hate to say it, probably. I do think you guys had a little bit of help with the Titans knocking out some of the stronger competitors that might have been stopping you in the AFC championship. I don't think that's going to happen again this year. You're going to have to actually run a gauntlet to get into the Super Bowl. And if you do make it, yeah, I think it's one of the hardest things in football. I think it's all going to be a matter of, I think if they come out of the AFC, they're going to win it all. But I don't know that they come out.
Okay. So if they do come out, then they win it. But if they don't come out, well, obviously if they don't come out, they're not going to repeat. But
right.
All right. Cool. Makes sense. I think honestly, I wrote the questions I posed, and I pretty much agree with everybody across the board. I think it will be interesting to see, like Jets Greg said, with Sinclair in the backfield, what they do. It's like you said, just weapons all over the field. I don't think obviously he'll be a 1,000-yard receiver, but he'll definitely be a 1,000-yard all-purpose type of guy, obviously. So yeah, I mean, winning MVP, I think it's kind of like Tim just said. I guess how I'm thinking about it right now, I guess I put like an NBA type of spin on it. Like I see him almost as like he's gonna be almost like the LeBron James of football. It's like you can give LeBron James MVP pretty much almost every year, but they're not going to. It's just not how it works. So it's like I think Mahomes gets another 1 or 2 under his belt, and it might turn to something like that. Kind of like, all right, like obviously we know he's great. He's like we're not gonna give it to him not just because, but basically like we just know his greatness. We just got to start doing out of this world, more out of this world type stuff for him to just earn it year after year after year after year. So just I guess my little thought or take on it. But overall, I think it'll be interesting. I think they'll probably repeat this year as well. It is the hardest thing probably doing sports as a whole, but I think they get it this year, and maybe following year we'll see a different result. They'll probably get back, but we'll definitely see a different result. One thing I did want to ask though, where y'all getting all this money from? I know it's kind of spread out throughout the years and stuff, but a lot of guys getting a lot of big contracts, in my opinion.
I don't know how they doing it. They started.
You sliding them some money to get these deals signed, huh?
Free agency with like $177 under the cap, and they just worked some magic and made it happen, man.
Working some incredible magic.
Find everybody that they were expecting a lot of people to turn over with Sammy Watkins. They can't keep him. Robinson, he's moving on. the defense, several guys on the defense are moving on, but somehow they all ended up back. We just lost the corner, the slot corner, and a linebacker. And he was he was the weakest link on the defense. Had a big run stopper, but he couldn't cover nobody. And we drafted Willie Gay Jr., which the word is that if Isaiah Simmons, the freak that he is, if he wasn't at the combine, everybody would have been talking about Willie Gay Jr.'s numbers because he was a fast linebacker, out there, and his other measurables were through the roof, and he's killing it in practice and training camp. So that's going to be nice to see a little bit better linebacker play. And everybody's coming back. That's the reason I think that they're going to repeat is, it's nice when you sign a bunch of nice free agents and you get a bunch of draft picks like Denver and things like that. But now you've got a bunch of new moving parts that have to find their way in jail, and that takes the season, most of the season to do. Kansas City doesn't have that. One of the moving pieces is the running back. But kind of what Jets Greg said, you can just give the running back the ball, let him use his natural ability. He'll figure it out. We got an offensive lineman that's new, but everybody else is there. He's got the goal line together. He'll figure it out. The receivers, everybody's, doing the same things that they were doing last year. So they don't lose anything by missing out on the preseason. And I think that's a negative for everybody else. So while they're trying to figure it out in game 1, 2, 3, 4, which is normally preseason games, we have two of the hardest games, and I think that's how we get by Baltimore early. I think that's how we get by the Patriots early, and then late we've got Tampa Bay and the Saints. And the Saints are probably looking at their schedule, looking at it and saying, "Okay, Chiefs is a loss." So those are the only two games that I really see that teams got a chance. So we'll see.
Jets Greg actually came back. You were next up. I was gonna move on to Sammy, but we'll move on to Jets Greg. So I'll pose my 5 questions to you, and then you go. Like I said, I'll let you guys, kind of give your feedback on what his answers are. So first question, is: will Le'Veon Bell be a top 5 rusher this year? Oh, my fault. What's up?
I didn't hear anything after the Le'Veon Bell thing.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, I just said, can you hear me now? We're good?
Yeah, there's just some scratchy.
Oh, it's scratchy?
Yeah.
I kind of hear it too. What it is? Hold on. All right. Well, there we go. All right, cool. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I was saying, the first question is, will Le'Veon Bell be a top 5 rusher this year?
So,
oh, my fault. You can only say yes or no. I'll let you defend it at the end though, but you only say yes or no.
I'll go with no.
No. Right. Will Sam Darnold start all 16 games this year?
Yes.
Will the Jets win the AFC East this year? I'm gonna take that as a no. Will Adam Gase make it through the year or be the coach next year?
Will he make it through the year? Yes. Will he be the coach next year? Depends on the outcome of the year.
Okay. So I'm gonna go yes and maybe. All right. 5 will be, will the Jets come out over or under 500? Actually, I'm going to just say over 500. So you can put yes or no.
I'm gonna say under 500.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that means missed playoffs. And I actually had a bonus question for you because obviously since last time we did this, a big trade happened with Jamal Adams going to Seattle. So
now you see what I'm talking about. You see where it's coming from.
Yes, exactly. So my bonus question for you was, I think it's McDougal. I think that's how you say it. But will McDougal be able to slot in and produce as much as Jamal Adams? Sounds
No,
like
I
another
don't
no.
think so. I don't think so.
All right, just to recap, will Le'Veon be a top 5 rusher? You said no. I was thinking you might say yes, but said no. Will Sam Darnold start all 16 games? Yes. Will Jets win AFC East? No. Will Adam Gase make it through the year? Yes. Coach next year? Maybe. Will the Jets come out over 500? No. And will McDougal slide in to produce as much as Jamal Adams? No. So I'll start with Sammy again, and let him kind of say whether he agrees or doesn't agree with the
Sounds
answers.
good. Yeah, I mean, I think Greg had good answers. I think if somebody was a Jets fan watching, they may not love what Greg had to say, but I agree with most of what he had to say. Le'Veon Bell, I actually like a lot. I think he's being a little bit disrespected. Top 5 rushers, that's the best of the best. I think he may have that kind of talent, but rushing yards wise, I don't think he'll be there just because I think the Jets will be trailing in a lot of games and they'll have to throw it a little bit. So I think Darnold's numbers may be better than people think, just stats wise. But I think Le'Veon Bell, he's a top 10 type running back, but there's too many guys. Zeke Elliott, Dalvin Cook, McCaffrey, Saquon, Chubb has Hunt there, but still there's so many guys, and maybe Edwards-Helaire if he's really the only guy carrying it for the Chiefs, which he may not be the only guy, but there's too many guys. Le'Veon Bell's not going to be a top 5 rusher in my opinion. Darnold all 16 games, I think absolutely yes, unless he gets injured. I definitely don't see him getting benched. If he gets injured, which you can't really predict, then obviously the answer is no. But I'll go yes. Hopefully he stays healthy this year. Jets win the AFC East? I don't think so. I think they'll come in third. I think them and Miami are pretty even, and I think the Patriots and the Bills are more the class of the division. Adam Gase, I do think he'll make it through the year, but I think the Jets – I had the Jets going 7-9 and being like somewhat of a fringe wild card team, but once Cam signed with the Patriots, I actually had them dropping some of those games there. I think the Jets go like 5-11. I think he'll make it through the year, but I don't think he'll be the coach next year. I don't really think he should be the coach now. I think there's a lot of good options, and I don't like Adam Gase too much. So clearly under 500. And then McDougal, I don't think he's going to be Jamal Adams. I mean, he's a nice player, but Jamal Adams is one of the best safeties in the league, and obviously he didn't want to be there, so they kind of had to do something, and they got a pretty good deal out of that trade with Seattle. But personally, I mean, I think Jamal Adams is clearly better than McDougal at this point in their careers.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, same thing. I posed the questions, but I don't know. Yeah, I think Le'Veon. I think his time kind of passed. I think him really wanting out of the Steelers organization is what kind of put his mark on him, because I feel like if he'd have stayed with them, it definitely would have put a lot of. I mean, it probably would have. For Tim, Tim's probably happy about him not being in the division anymore. But I think with him staying with the Steelers, just gave it another powerhouse in the AFC for Greg and all you other guys to compete with. But him wanting to be out of, I just didn't see it. I don't see why. Obviously, it just, I think of course ego, money, and all that. But I don't know. I just don't think New York was the answer, and he didn't even get more money than what he would have gotten anyway. So it's just kind of.
I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
The Jets also picked up Frank Gore, who played with my Colts. He was, one of the best Niners ever, and been a great running back for so many years. Don't sleep on him. We know what Frank Gore is at this point in his career, but he may take 8 to 10 touches a game away from Le'Veon Bell, and we know Le'Veon likes the ball in his hands, so that'll be interesting. The other thing with the Jets is they lost Robbie Anderson, who was never really living up to his full potential. Rashad Perriman had a good last couple games last year with Jameis Winston throwing him the ball. I think the Jets' offense, weapon-wise, is interesting. I like Crowder. I like Perriman. I think Denzel Mims could have a good career, and Herndon is interesting at tight end. But overall, it's just they don't have enough top talent, in my opinion, at the skill positions.
Yeah. Very good point.
I like his word choice.
Interesting. Tim, what do you think?
Let's see, running through here. I don't think Le'Veon Bell is going to be a top 5 rusher. I think this is a year where rushers are going to be very strong. And I don't think Le'Veon Bell, while he is a high caliber rusher, I don't think that he finishes in the top 5. Given the discord between the coaching and Bell, I don't know that he plays all 16 games. or finishes the season in New York. We'll see what happens there. Sam Darnold, barring injury, I think he'll finish the 16 games. I don't know. They're going against a lot of strong defenses this year. Darnold's liable to take a lot of hits and possibly miss a game or two here and there. The Jets are not going to win the AFC East. It's not even close. Gase making it through the year. I think it's about time that we stop this, and the Browns are just as guilty of it as anybody else. Stop this year or two, and then give them the boot. You've got to start forming some sort of cohesive team, and that includes your head coach. So I think Gase needs to be back next year, no matter what. Give him the 3 years, and then figure it out. 1 or 2 years is not enough to determine whether or not a coach is going to be helpful. That said, Freddie Kitchens needed to go after 1 year. And the Jets, I looked at their schedule. They're not coming out over 500. I think I see about 5, maybe 6 wins there.
5 or 6. Greg, world champion Greg.
Yeah. Le'Veon Bell. I love Le'Veon Bell, but he just landed in the wrong place. The Jets. That's. I don't know what to say about the Jets. They've got a lot of problems, but it's not just with the talent. I think the front office is jacked up. Making moves like they did with the safety. Is he a top 5? Not even close. Arnold playing 16 games. I think he can do that. Will he be better? Probably not. He's going to throw a lot of picks like he's always done. He threw a lot in college. That's going to hurt him. East champs. No, I'm more in Tim's thinking. 4, 5, 6 wins if they're lucky. Catch a couple people napping. Actually think they'd be more like 2, 3, honestly.
Oh, wow.
Let's see.
That's a little disrespect.
Gase, I think he's a decent coach, but he's in the wrong place. It's like the old Cincinnati clubs back in the day when it didn't matter who was there. They just couldn't get it together. And I think the Jets is a place like that. If Gase goes someplace else, I think he'll be successful. I just don't think I'll see any success out of him in New York. So I'm going with the under 500. Like I said, honestly, I think it's 2 or 3 wins, but I'm gonna be nice since Greg's buddy and he's my friend. I'm gonna be nice and say 5 or 6 wins.
Gave him some pity wins.
Yo. Did you say pity win?
Yeah, he gave some pity wins. He said 2 or 3, but I'm gonna say 5 or 6 because you're my friend. I was like, I don't know if it's much to defend, but I'm gonna let you, of course, defend your answers. Defend what the guys said. Maybe there's something that we don't know that's going on in you guys' camp, training camp or something that we gotta look out for. To where you might get that 8-9 win season and then possibly squeak into the playoffs. So I'll let you defend yourself.
All right. First order of business. We got to talk about this little win total because we started off. It was nice. All right, 7-9. I said, okay, I can see that. This amount is slid to 5, 6, maybe 7. But I heard the 5, 6 in there. Then we went all the way down to 3, 4, 5. And I said, how did we just get tragically worse each time? Now, I do understand the case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shout out to all my Jet fans. Shout out to y'all. We real fans, and we struggle through everything. Let me break this down. First of all, you can't take your best offensive player and say you don't like him after you give him $20 million a year. He's like, okay, I'll just show up and play. You can't take him and give him 125, 150 carries and think he's going to do anything with that. Frank Gore's going to do exactly. How old is Frank Gore? Might be somebody's age on here. You know, Frank Gore is older than you. playing as long as you've been in school. This is how long he's been playing. He's going to come in there and get goal line touches and get about 125 carries. There's only about 350, 400 to go around. We got 2 other running backs, which means that Le'Veon is not going to get the carries. Now, here's something else that happens. I'm paying attention to the camp. They said, yeah, Le'Veon got a hurt ankle or something. All of a sudden, I look later, Le'Veon Bell on Twitter talking about, no, I feel great. I said, oh, I see what they playing games. So I think they're going to keep him fresh. Right now, my man in Chicago just got hurt, and I think they're going to keep him fresh, don't get injured, ship him over there. Because Gase has said, I don't need expensive running backs. I don't need that. The way my offense is set up, I can run it the same way Sam Fran run it. Just give me some guys, I'll figure it out. But that's the first problem. The second problem is you take Jamal Adams, clearly top 2, top 3 safety in the league, get a ton of tackles. All of a sudden, you talking to him crazy too. So I'm like, how do you alienate your team and dismantle your team and expect to have wins? So I figure the low win totals is because of unrest in the locker room. You know, they're just getting paid to cure things. I don't think he's Belichick. Belichick might not be the most favorable guy, but when you're winning 12, 13, 14 games, you're kind of happy about that. I don't think Gase is that guy. So that explains the wins. Le'Veon, he has to split these touches with Gore. Gore's going to play and get. Last year, he got 12 goal line carries. That's a lot. That's in Buffalo. So he's going to do the same thing. He knows him already. I think he likes him. Will Darnold play the whole year? Yes. Will he get beat up? Yes. He has to stay in the game. He don't have no backup QB. So he ain't got no choice. We're going to need him to stay in the game. They're going to run him into the dirt because he's on that field. They're going to find out what's going on with him.
That's y'all young quarterback. It's supposed to be quarterback of the future, though. They got to run
What,
into the dirt.
you don't trust Flacco with backup?
They got to find out what they got. Because he's going to be looking for the big money. So they're going to say, well, we want to see if you can win. And so they're going to throw him out there to the Wolves and see what happens. Right now, he told me he was seeing ghosts last year. I don't know about that ghost. If we're going to lose, let's go all the way and go get Trevor Lawrence, man. Let's do it right and go all the way. Don't say nothing about that.
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Win total, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to call it the 6-10, but it could be the 8-8 if people get injuries. We already got injuries. Our number 1 wide receiver out. You see why I talk like this, right? Denzel out. Crowder is all we got. Breland already hurt. We pulling people off the street. We got the guy from the hot dog stand. Ask him to come in here and play. You asked me about is McDougal. I mean, look at what we dealing with. Where did he go? Who was McDougal? I'm struggling right now talking about this, trying to break down this whole recap. And but no, we got problems on both sides of the ball. We got some highlight plays, but as far as amounting to wins, man, I'll be honest with you right now. I just hope to beat the Dolphins twice. If we can beat them twice, I'll feel okay. If we split with them,
That's going to be a challenge.
A bottom basement team.
2 wins.
2 wins. And what was that last question? Oh, will Gase make it through the whole year? They gave Gase big money, so Gase is going to make it through. But if he has a big win, like if we go like 11-5, then yeah, he ended. They'll be like he turned it around, he implemented the scheme. But we come up with the schedule I think he's going to come up with. They're going to get him up out of there. They're going to get studies and bring him up in there, which is about time because you can't have no coach in there talking about I already got paid. So what you talking about? Like you can't be the coach talking about I already got paid. What he say? He said I'm rich. You know the rest of it. He said that. And I'm like, so you just like I already got the check. I don't care what y'all say. That's how I feel about it. And like I said, I'm a Jet fan. It's not really the team that I'm worried about. It's the coaching that I'm worried about in the front office. I will say this. If Le'Veon Bell ended up on any other team, he could potentially be a top 10 running back on that team. Like if he was in Kansas City, they won a Super Bowl. If he was anywhere, they wouldn't do anything else. But the way we got it over here with the Jets and with no offensive line. All right, Jet fans, so I laid it out for y'all so y'all know what time it is. I wanted to keep it real with y'all. I ain't want to be on fantasy land with unicorns and rainbows. I wanted to keep it a buck. All right, y'all.
Real quick before I move on to Sammy's question, what do you got? Do y'all guys think Adam Gase is a viable head coach? I heard someone say like there's definitely better options, but just yes or no? Sammy already put the thumbs
What did
down.
Adam Gates do?
Yeah.
No,
That's
I mean,
exactly what I'm saying.
Miami wasn't good either.
Yeah,
Adam Gates
it was
won
terrible.
the game with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning won the game. He didn't win nothing.
Yeah, Gase shouldn't be. There's plenty of guys like Eric Bieniemy in Kansas City that should be head coaches instead of him.
Yeah.
Wow, you said Bieniemy? Holy cow.
Yeah.
You must think really, really bad of Gates. Holy cow. Wow. We doing bad. You'll just take anybody, just throw anybody else in there. Get that guy.
Man.
He's bad.
We're gonna switch gears now. We're gonna get to Sammy. Sammy's questions at the Colts. His 5 questions. So, my first one posing to you is: will Phillip Rivers start and play all 16 games?
Yes.
Will Marlon will Marlon Mack get his extension?
With the Colts?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Is there enough on both sides of the ball to make a deep playoff runs? Say second,
Yes.
third run. Okay, cool. Will Michael Pittman eclipse over 800 yards in this year? My fault.
No.
No. Cool. And do you guys make the playoffs? Of course, with that extra playoff spot.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So recap: will Phillip Rivers start and play all 16 games? Yes. Will Marlon Mack get his extension? No. Is there enough on both sides of the ball to make a deep playoff run, saying second or third round? No. Or you say yes, my fault. Yes. And then you said, well, Michael Pittman eclipse over 800 yards. That was their first pick in the draft. Said no. Do you guys make the playoffs? Yes. All right. So I'm going to start off with Tim, and then I'm going to work my way with the Greg. So, Tim, what do you think about those his answers?
I don't think Rivers plays all 16 games. Rivers is getting old. It's time for him to hang up. And I think the Colts have plenty of backup because they still have Brissett back there, don't they?
Yeah.
So I don't think Rivers plays all.
And they drafted
16 games.
Eason, right? Drafted Eason. So yeah, they got. I mean, obviously Eason's a rookie, but they got. It would be a viable backup in my opinion.
Yeah. If for nothing else, then towards the end of the season, whether if the Colts are secure or not or completely unsecure, Rivers probably won't play all 16 games. Marlon Mack get extended. I'll defer to Sam here and say no. Deep playoff run? I don't think so. I think there's too much strength in the AFC for the Colts to make a deep playoff run. I think they're probably wild card round, maybe out in the division round at best. Pittman over 800 yards. Sure, why not? I don't really have an opinion one way or the other on that one. I haven't looked into him too much. I do think it's possible that they make the playoffs. Looking at their schedule, they've actually got a lot of weak teams on their schedule. So I think they'll be able to stack up some wins. You got Cincinnati on there, Jacksonville. You got the Jets on there. Actually, everybody but the Chiefs and the Pat plays each other this year.
Oh wow.
You got the Lions too, so I think you'll be able to stack up enough wins. I think you'll sneak into the playoffs.
Okay, makes sense. Greg, world champion Greg, what do you think?
I love Phillip Rivers, man. I absolutely love Phillip Rivers. He's been giving Kansas City the blues from day one. He's a giant when it comes to the QB game. If he can keep from throwing a lot of interceptions, like he started to do, I think the Colts, to jump to the other question, I think they can make a deep run. I think they have the defense that can, hang with anybody. The Pittman question, I think he's a beast. And with that offensive line, it's going to be easy for him. It's going to be kind of like college. They move meat. Them boys can move some folks.
Yeah, that offensive line is serious.
I think he's a 1,000-yard rusher. I think Mack, he's not going to get his deal that he wants in Indianapolis. I think they let him go and roll on with the rookie. Rivers, if he can stay healthy, which Tim alluded to, he probably won't because he's getting older. But if he can, because of these pansy rules they got with the quarterback, you can't touch him. He might be able to hang all year, and if he does, I think the Colts are one of the best teams in the AFC. I like them better than pretty much everybody except Baltimore and Houston. After that, I think the Colts are right there with anybody. I think they're there with Pittsburgh, who's got hoping that Big Ben comes back strong. You got Cleveland, hoping they put everything together. So I think they're right there.
Okay.
So playoffs, I'm giving them the thumbs up.
All right.
But I don't want to see them.
I said I wouldn't want to see him either, like you guys talked about in the before we went live. Of course, Sammy's Colts got your guys last year, a little early on in the season, but he said it definitely is a different team, especially who's that quarterback for Sammy. So it would be an interesting matchup. So I'm kind of hoping and rooting for it, in my opinion. But I'll let Jets Greg, go ahead. Talk about Sammy's entry sources.
I gotta work my way up to that world championship Greg level. I gotta work on that. Every time I hear it, I'm like, well, damn, what Greg am I?
The 2-14 Greg.
Who wins?
Oh, y'all crazy. That ain't right. The Colts. One question was, what's the rookie's name?
Michael Pittman, receiver out of Notre Dame.
Get over 1,000 yards. Yes.
Over 1,000. I only said 800.
Huh?
I said I only said 800, but you said over 1,000. Okay, he's coming out. That's almost rookie of the year.
The only reason is because T.Y. Hilton is going to have some injury games. He's going to be out for a couple of games. He's been getting dinged up. He's a really good player. He's going to get utilized. He's going to miss 3, 4, 5 games. That's where the other boy becomes the guy. Don't forget last year's draft pick, Campbell, and they actually got about 4 or 5 guys, wide receivers. They can throw other guys in there. So I do think he's going to become the starting number 1, the X receiver for at least 3 to 4 games. And he's going to deliver. I think he's going to deliver because he has a real quarterback back there. For real. Okay. Talking about Rivers. Now I want to be careful, but Rivers don't give a boop right now. It's all or nothing right now. It's all or nothing right now. He's slinging the rock. He's throwing picks. It don't matter. But you better score. You better score with him because he's going to keep scoring. That's just the bottom line. Frank Reich is an old QB. Frank Reich already know what he is already. So that's already made in heaven. That's a one-shot deal, 1 year. Let's go for it. All in, all that work. Let's go for it. And I think that Rivers is with it. So I think they're going to be lighting it up. They got a good offensive line with the run. So now let's get to the running backs. Marlon Mack, he up out of there. You just drafted the same exact player, but bigger, stronger, faster, do all the same skill sets, but better. So why you going to have this guy on a baby contract, get his lesser guy the big money contract? No, he out of here for a second-round pick, maybe a player or two. Marlon Mack can play. Yeah. And he don't play the first couple of games, but when they sprinkle the new guy Taylor in there for those little 5, 6, 7 carries, and he explode for one, y'all know how this goes. Y'all know how this goes. So that's gonna be that. Watch out for Naheem Hines. That's what's gonna save Rivers.
Yeah, I would say Hines is good too.
Man, he gonna be looking bananas this year. He gonna whoop, 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 whoop. He gonna throw it to him the whole time. What was the other question? So we got Rivers. Rivers is he gonna do?
Oh, the playoffs. Yeah, will they make a deep run in the playoffs, and will they make it? Period.
I'm nervous because the AFC went bananas trying to figure out what to do with Kansas City. They knew they was coming back, so everybody scrambled and enhanced their team. I was looking at the coach like, whoa, they doing a whole lot. They did it. I mean, they ain't do. Matter of fact, who y'all pick up on defense? Y'all got some defense.
DeForest Buckner.
Yeah,
stuff like that. That's a problem. So that's going to keep them competitive on the defensive side of the ball. But I can assure you, Rivers going to sling the rock. It might look a little bit like what's the boy out there with that was with Tampa Bay last year?
Winston.
It might look something like Winston, but hey, look, He gonna throw the ball. It's all on the line. It's all or nothing. I don't care. Go get the ball. That's what he's gonna do. So that's that. The playoffs, I'm a little nervous because the Titans is there. You got Houston that's there. I'd have to look at the schedule, but in the AFC,
Yeah, we'll
you
get
better
to
come
that.
with 11 wins. You better come with 11 wins, and I don't know if they got 11 wins in them, but they need the whole 11. They play the Jets. All right, step closer. So, what was the last question?
They got
Just what?
bye week. They got an extra bye week against the Jets.
You got them all.
Yeah, you got
don't
them
do
all.
me like that. We not a bye week, but it's a victory though. It ain't a
It's
bye
a
week.
victory,
He don't have
though.
no safety. He going right up the middle the whole time. It's a bad situation, man. It's bad. It's
All right. Yeah. So Sam, kind of, I guess, what you think, what the guys, what the guys had to say, and just your, overall thoughts.
No, I appreciate what the guy said. I think I got a lot of respect. A lot of times when I'm talking to some of my friends, they always hate on my Colts, but these guys had it. These guys gave me some props, so I appreciate that. Just about each answer. Rivers all 16 games. I know he's getting up there in age, but again, having that great O-line does help a lot. Last year in the Chargers, he had a terrible O-line, so I think he's going to be protected. I think the Colts are actually going to run the ball a lot because they got all those guys that can run it and that great O-line, and Quentin Nelson and Frank Reich loves running the ball. So I think Rivers going to play all 16 games for sure. I mean, Brissett's obviously a really good backup quarterback to have, but they're trying to play Rivers if he's ready to play. So I think he's going to be fine. You never really saw the Chargers backup quarterbacks playing much over the years. So he stays healthy for the most part, I think. Marlon Mack, I like a lot. He's been really good ever since he came out of college, South Florida. But I think that if you pick up Jonathan Taylor, I think, his talent's amazing. And I think a lot of times with the Colts, like Jets Greg or almost world championship Greg mentioned that a couple of years. No, but he mentioned that Naheem Hines a good player too. And, they have a lot of guys. They like to spread it around. So I don't think they're going to pay Mac the kind of money he wants next year. I think Mac will go to maybe like a bad team and get a decent contract because they want somebody that could play. But
like
the deep
Jets.
Yeah, like the Jets. No, but deep playoff run, I don't necessarily think they're going to, win the Super Bowl. I told you, I think the Chiefs are repeating. But I think they have the ability to. I think Houston took a step back, losing DeAndre Hopkins. I love Deshaun Watson, but losing D-Hop's big. Tennessee, Tim talked about earlier how Kansas City was a little bit lucky with Tennessee knocking out those big boys in the playoffs. Tennessee, I think, also got a little bit lucky. Did they win those games? Hell yeah. But with the Patriots losing that Week 17 game to Miami when Fitzpatrick came down the field, the Titans got they didn't have to play the Chiefs in the first round. So if they played the Chiefs in the first round, we wouldn't have been talking about Tennessee and Derrick Henry and all that stuff. But the Titans got lucky. I think they're okay. I don't like Tannehill at all, to be honest. I think Kansas City and Baltimore, New England always, and Buffalo pretty solid, and the Browns, and there's a lot of good teams. But also, one last thing about Jets, Greg, what he was talking about Denver. I like what Denver did. I like what the Raiders did. I like what the Chargers did, grabbing all these offensive pieces, but they still can't compete with Kansas City. So I think all those teams are, I think all those teams are around 7 and 9 type teams. Pittman over 800 yards. I like him a lot, but Frank Reich likes to spread the ball around. You got Mack, you got Taylor, you got T.Y. Hilton, Paris Campbell. Again, I'm an Ohio State guy, so I'm a big fan of Campbell. Jack Doyle likes to get involved. Pascal was good last year, Zach Pascal. Pittman's going to be good. I don't think he'll get over 800. And then obviously the playoffs, I think they'll make it. I think they're going to win the division. I think they're going to go like 11-5, be like the 3 seed in the AFC, and probably get bounced in like the second or third round.
Okay.
all the way. All right.
That's a pretty successful year, I think, too. I think I would take that, my Falcons, if we can get back to some type of glory of that. I don't know. It's going to be super hard for us. But shifting gears, our last guy and our last question, the one that probably has the most interesting team, in my opinion, especially offensively. But like I said, we'll just get into it. Of course, Tim, with the Browns, I posed the first question. Will Baker Mayfield throw less than 15 picks?
No. No.
All right. Will Odell be on the team at the end of the year?
Yes.
Okay. Will the Browns win the AFC North?
No.
Okay. Will the Browns make the playoffs?
Yes.
All right. And have you guys finally found a coach that will head the team longer than 5 years?
Maybe. Yes. Yeah.
And Stefanski. Okay, cool. So just to recap, will Baker Mayfield throw less than 15 picks? No, he won't. Will Odell be on the team at the end of the year? Yes, he will. Will the Browns win the AFC North? No, they won't. Will the Browns make the playoffs, though? Yes, they will. And have you guys finally found a coach that would be the head coach longer than 5 years? Maybe / yes. We can go with yes. So we'll start off with Jets, Greg. I'll give you the honor of going first for this one. I guess to win something finally. So, what do you think?
Yo, what is going on right now?
What do you think about Tim's answers?
What was the first question? What was that question again?
The first one was, will Baker Mayfield throw less than 15 picks?
Baker Mayfield's going to throw 15 plus picks. He's going to sling the rock. He's not a game manager. He's going to sling the rock. He got weapons. And he's going to tell them, go get this ball. I'm going to throw it over there. Your job is he going to get the ball over there, but they got to catch it. It's just be honest. He got guys that can catch the ball and make things happen. They got the guys, and to be honest with you, you see what they did with these tight ends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just in case you're worried about too far out, just get it to these guys right here. Well, they got some capable tight ends right now. It's a scary situation. They're playing for keeps right now. But he won't throw more than 15 picks.
Okay. And the second one, will Odell be on the team at the end of the year?
That depends on production and injury. They paying him for injury again? No. But if he comes through and he gets 800, 900,000 yards, 6 TDs, he's on the team. He's on the team.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. And then winning the AFC North, and if they would make the playoffs.
I don't. Aren't they locked in there with Baltimore?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, no, come on now. Let's not even do that. That's a no. That's not gonna happen.
But making the playoffs, though, especially with that extra spot.
Can they sneak in? Well, I don't know. Coach just said Denver and all the Raiders and all them is trash. I don't know if he said it like that. He's like, they're all 6 and 10 teams. They're trash. I thought they were better than that, and they're going to be having something to say about that little spot right there. But I'm going to be honest. Baker's kind of arrogant, and he's mad. He's mad that coach got in there and was cutting up last year. And you know how he get. But one thing I'll tell you, he ain't scared, man. He not a scared kind of guy. He going for it. He going to go for it. So can he get it? It's going to depend on some injuries with other teams. But if you leave Baker alone too long, he's going to do something bad to you. So they got a good team.
Okay. And then you think Stefanski is going to be the head coach for longer than 5 years? Really longer than 2 or 3?
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to go with the yes. I'm going to go with the yes for one simple reason. You see they running backs? They running game is crazy. So once they can put the pieces, they got weapons everywhere. Once they put that together, what did they pick up? Was it Hooper?
Mm-hmm. Hooper.
You're a Falcons fan. You know he can play. Matter of fact, speaking of the Falcons, you know your guy you just got going to do something too. But let's get back.
For sure.
They got the 2 tight ends. They still got Njoku.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy is that? They're going to be beating people up, and they're going to have a problem with really just Baltimore. To be honest, that's really the big problem. Outside of that, they I don't know what the schedule looks like, but they're going to be doing some things to people. So I think Stefanski will be around. I think he's better than Kitchens, and he's better than the other guy that was there before that. So we'll see what happens. But I think he'll be there for 5 years. I can see it.
Cool. We'll head over to Greg, world champion Greg. What you think?
Well, I got a little love for the Doodoo Browns. I got some love for the Browns. So is Baker going to throw a bunch of picks this year? I think the coach comes in knowing that that's a problem. And good coaches, they fix what's wrong. That's what I love about Andy Reid. Everything that was wrong with the team when he got there, he, systematically fixed everything that was wrong. And I think this is the same type of coach. He's going to come in thinking, okay, we got a problem with turnovers. How do we get Baker to stop throwing so many picks? So I'm going less than 15 picks on Baker.
Wow. Gave a little bit of love.
I think it's going to be coaching. They're going to focus on that, and I think Baker's a good enough quarterback to make those type of improvements, and I'm sure he's been working on it. So I think there's going to be the receivers going to be a little more open this year. Odell's not hurt. He's going to be full speed. I think he's going to be able to get the separation that he wasn't getting last year. The tight ends, like Greg was saying, are strong. You've got Kareem Hunt out the backfield. The running game is strong. So I think all those things combined are going to help Baker not feel like he has to push it so much, and he's going to throw less interceptions. So I got less on that. Odell, will he be there? I think Odell's gotten to the point where I don't think nobody else wants him no more. I think he's around for the rest of his life. I mean, nobody else wants Odell, so he might as well stay in Cleveland.
That's interesting.
The North. Who wins the North? I think Cleveland is right there with Pittsburgh. It just depends on how that defense plays. I think the offense is going to get it together. They're going to find a way to score a lot of points this year. So if the defense can come around, those might be some interesting games. Pittsburgh, Cleveland. I'm going to be watching that. I think Baltimore beats them both times, home and away. Without the crowd probably in the stands, I think home and away is going to be less of a factor. So that was one of the things I was looking at when I was looking at the Chiefs schedule. Our tough games, might not have no fans in it. You won't have to deal with the Saints in the Dome and, the Bucks on the road with Brady. They sold out, as soon as they signed him. So, there's going to be a whole different vibe there once, the COVID situation runs down. Do the Browns make the playoffs? I think they're right there with the Colts. Right on the bubble, depending on who does what. Right at the end of the season, I'm gonna go yes. I'm gonna say yeah. They can get in there over Pittsburgh. I think Big Ben comes back, gives them a boost, but it's not enough. The defense is gonna keep them in some games, but I'm thinking Big Ben and the elbow is on his way down. And then as far as the coach, I think the coach is excellent. I think they got a good coach. I think they'll keep him around. They give him some time to put the pieces together. And they already putting the pieces together. It's just getting them to play together and become a team. I think that the Cleveland is going to be something to deal with for a long time if they can keep these pieces together, for sure.
Sammy, what's your thoughts on Tim's answers and questions overall?
Yeah, so I actually like these questions a lot. I think they're very interesting. For the Baker question, I think I agree with what you guys are saying. I think he's going to make some changes, the coaching changes. The offensive line is clearly a lot better. They continue to beef up that offense and with all those skill players. He's still, though, in my opinion, some guys like he's not a famous level interception guy. Phillip Rivers sometimes gets that, Eli Manning threw a lot of picks. Andrew Luck, everyone knows he was great. He threw a lot of picks. Sometimes guys that throw a lot of picks just kind of throw a lot of picks. And then guys that don't just don't. I think Baker will improve in that area. He threw 21 last year, I believe. I think he'll throw about 16, 17. But because you listed it at 15, I do think he's going to throw over 15 slightly. But I think he's going to improve a lot. I like him a lot. And I do think he's the Browns quarterback of the future. Odell, I do think he'll be on the team moving forward. I think he's a great player. It's interesting. Before the conversation, I think Jets Greg was talking about Odell in fantasy, people still believing in him. I think it's interesting. I actually think that he's listed lower than he should be. I think he's a big-time receiver still. He was banged up a lot. He gets a bad, people think he's bad off the field. He hasn't really had too many bad issues, like the peeing on the net thing, and sometimes his sideline antics are a little bit, people don't like it. But I like guys that play with passion. I think Odell cares a lot. I think sometimes he gets a bad rep. I think he's a great player. I think he'll stick around. Browns, I don't think they'll win the AFC North, but I think it's going to be closer than people think. I've heard a lot of people thinking Baltimore is going to go like 16-0 or something. I think Baltimore is really good. I think they'll go like 11-5. And I actually have Cleveland, yes, making the playoffs. I have them as the 5 seed, going 10-6. I think they're going to be really good this year. I think Cleveland, you never know what's going to happen. Could they go 6-10? Yeah. Do they have the talent to go 14-2? Yeah, but I think they'll be somewhere in the middle. I think they'll go 10-6. And then interesting question here with the Stefanski longer than 5-year question. I actually like Stefanski a lot. I thought it was a good hire coming out of Minnesota. I think he's a really good coach. And as you see, I think, as I have said, I think he's going to do a good job. But I don't think he'll last longer than 5 years. 5 years is a long time. Mm-hmm. And in the NFL these days, especially it seems like in Cleveland, they have a quick leash. So I think he'll do well. I think the Browns make the playoffs this year. They may make it the next 2-3 years. But if, in 2-3 years from now, if they're a playoff team every year, if he's not winning a Super Bowl, which I don't necessarily think the Browns are going to win a Super Bowl with Baker and Stefanski, then I think after like 3-4 years, they may cut the leash. Because, unless you're Bill Belichick or Andy Reid or Sean Payton, a lot of these guys have really, really short lives as NFL head coaches. So I have a feeling that 4 or 5 years from now, Stefanski will be fired, and a lot of people won't agree with the decision, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Yep. I guess before I give my thoughts, I'm gonna let Tim go ahead and talk about what the guys said, if they agree or disagree, or anything we might need to look out for, any news happening in camps, stuff like that. So,
all right. So let's start with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, I think one of the Gregs said he's angry this year, and there's nothing more, to use his word, dangerous than an angry Baker Mayfield. You don't want that, especially with the talent pool that he's got around him. I think it's very possible that he has low 30s in his touchdown passes, and I think Sam's right, probably around 16 or 17 interceptions. He had 22 and 21 in a bad year, and then set the rookie touchdown record the year before, not playing all 16 games. 30 to 35 is achievable, even with a strong run game taking some of those. I think you're going to see that the Browns are going to put up a lot of points. OBJ being on the team next year, OBJ is going to be where OBJ wants to be. And if that's Cleveland next year, he'll be in Cleveland next year. And if it's not, he'll be gone. I think a lot of that is going to have to do with chemistry. I think Odell can be okay giving up the spotlight if it's for the good of the team. He is a flashy player. He does like to be in the spotlight, but he's playing with his best friend opposite him. He's going to give up some of that spotlight to Landry. He knows Chubb and Hunt are going to steal the spotlight. I think he's going to be fine, and I think he will return next year because I think he's going to see the team gel. Winning the AFC North, I hate to admit it, but nobody's going to beat Baltimore in that division. Individual games, yes. Overall record, no. The AFC North actually across the board has the easiest schedule in the NFL, strength of schedule wise. They're all right around 28, 29, 30 in terms of how hard their schedule is. I think that plays to Baltimore's advantage. I think the ceiling for the Browns is 12-4. I think it's more likely that we're a 10-6 team and we do make the playoffs. That said, I have a scenario that I fully expect is going to play, and I want to credit my co-host on Hometown Crowd, Mac, for this. Here's what's going to happen. The Browns are going to make the playoffs. They're going to get into the wild card round, and they're going to blow whoever out by 20 points. They're going to get into the second round, and they're going to win. They're going to get up into the AFC Championship, and they're going to win.
What?
And then you wake up.
And then coronavirus is going to resurge, and the Super Bowl is going to be canceled. Because this is Cleveland. This is 2020. The Browns are very possibly going to the Super Bowl, but they won't play.
Wow.
I really expect that that's the type of season that we're in for.
That's interesting.
I don't necessarily think that that's exactly how it's going to play out, but that would be the most Cleveland thing ever, and it would be appropriate for 2020.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
As far as Stefanski goes, this year is going to be the biggest hurdle for Stefanski. He's a new coach coming in with players he's never worked with before. and we've got the coronavirus hampering how much interaction they have and how much chemistry they can get. It may take a little bit of time to get started for them, especially with us starting the season at Baltimore. It's good. It's going to be a rough week one for us. I think Stefanski can stick around for 5+ years. I don't know if the Browns ownership is willing to invest in a coach like that. But you know what? I think it's time that they take a risk and roll with it. So Stefanski will be around for 5 years.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting take. I kind of, a lot of it I was agreeing with Sammy for sure, because I see pretty much, same thing like you were saying. Odell's a top talent. Yes, he's flashy. A lot of the antics and stuff that I guess he does, or people are down on him about, is like, to me, it's just like, it's minimalistic types. It's like stuff that really shouldn't be that big of an issue or a deal. It's like, you're a player, you're playing with passion. It's just like little stuff here and there. It's like, it shouldn't tarnish, I guess, his reputation as a whole. And I guess what a lot of people, obviously Tim can speak to it. Like, yeah, he was injured, he was banged up last year. He was still over 1,000-yard receiver last year too. Even with Baker not having time, the line not being that great, him still throwing 21 picks. Like, him and Landry was still over 1,000-yard receivers. So it's just like the I guess the ceiling, like you say, is like it can be reached pretty high. And then the Stefanski question,
can be 12-4.
Yeah, exactly. Like they can be a decent team, especially like I said, that offense has so much firepower. Like, y'all literally are too deep in every position, every skill.
Don't forget Myles Garrett coming back too.
Yeah, and Myles Garrett with his extension. Yep. So it's like y'all have playmakers on both sides of the ball.
Temper.
Yeah. I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be all right. You guys $1 million. All right, I'll be a little calmer. No, at least no throwing of the helmets. I mean, it'll probably have some type of jitter or whatever on the line, but yeah, no throwing the helmets. But last thing I want to say, I specifically, like Sammy said, I specifically said 5 years because I kind of saw the same thing, or see the same thing happening that Sammy said. Like, y'all have the talent on both sides of the ball, and y'all starting to get that coaching to where I think the team will get to where they need to be, to where y'all will make the playoffs 2-3 years in a row. But I think they'll get ahead of themselves and think like they're supposed to be winning a Super Bowl within these 2-3 years, because obviously last year, after y'all got Odell, after y'all got all these players, they was writing y'all off to the Super Bowl already. And obviously it was a very, very down year. But like Sammy said, I see that they probably think you guys are supposed to, y'all get into the playoffs these 2-3 years and think, oh, they're supposed to be winning the Super Bowl, and get impatient and then end up, letting him go, which in my opinion will be a mistake. So that's why I specifically wanted to make sure it was 5 years, because, just the idea that I'm pretty sure you guys are going to start, making the playoffs, and the turnaround of the team is going to be really, really good. But like I said, yeah, I like it. I can say it was pretty good. Everybody almost was in agreement. There was a few no's here and there. But overall, I liked it. Like I said, we able to joke and laugh, get on Jets Greg a little bit. Before I guess there's one thing I want to do real quick. I know we've been on for a minute, but I've enjoyed being on with you guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed being on with me. But I've been hearing a lot of records be thrown around, of course. 2-14, 14-2, 16-0, 10-6, 11-5. But I don't know who you guys think you're going to specifically lose to. So I think Greg might have said a few games. Like, he just thinks Tampa Bay and the Saints are really the ones he may have to look out for. But of course, with a lot of the other guys, I know you guys, of course, looked at your schedules and everything, but I actually wanted to, go through real quick with the list. I got everybody's schedule up here on my iPad. So just wanted to hear win or loss real quick and see, where you guys headed at, who you guys think you might lose to, and who you guys think you might win against in order to make it to the playoffs. Or at least, Sam, Greg, and Tim were expecting you guys to get to the playoffs. So I'm gonna just go down the order. I'm gonna start off with Greg, world champion, of course, and I'll get to Greg, Jets, Sam, and then Tim. So, Greg, world champion. Let me see. I got your schedule up right here. First game, of course, is the Chiefs. Win or loss?
What?
I mean, my fault. First game is the Texans. Win or loss? My fault. Sorry.
Oh, we beating the Texans. We beat them again.
All right, 1-0. Our next game is the Chargers. Win or loss?
Big win.
2-0. Ravens.
It's gonna be a tough game, but we've already beat them twice with Lamar. We're gonna beat them again.
3-0. Patriots.
Cam's gonna be tough to deal with, but I think we beat them.
Okay. 4-0. All right. It seems like we're almost on track for a 16-0 type year. Raiders,
Beat them.
Bills.
Bills, that'll be a tough one, but I think we got them early in the season.
Yeah, it's the 6th game, so win. All right, cool. Broncos.
Broncos win.
We got Greg's Jets.
We're going to win by like 39.
Just 34, not 39.
Just 34.
Yeah.
Panthers.
Panthers, big win.
Raiders again.
Beating the Raiders again.
Bucks.
Bucks, I'm going to say we beat Brady. We going to beat Brady.
Wow, we're almost towards the end. This is what, 11-0? Yeah, 11-0. Broncos.
We're going to beat the Broncos.
Dolphins.
Going to smash the Dolphins. Hopefully we get Tua. I want to see what Tua got. Hopefully he starts.
I think by that time, I think Tua might be in there. Saints.
I'll go ahead and say the Saints get us. I'll give the Saints that one.
Okay. All right. My Falcons.
Falcons, we gonna dog your Falcons.
Oh, man. Okay.
I'll send you some flowers.
This one's at home, so I'll go ahead and defer and let you have that one, or it's at home for you guys. So, and then ending the year off with the Chargers.
Beat the Chargers again.
So we're here in 15-1. 15-1, guys. So what you think about that with the world champions?
I think they're gonna go 12-4. I have their schedule right here. I think they slip up at Denver, division game. Obviously, I think they're better than the Broncos, but like Jets Greg was saying, Denver did beef up offensively. I think they lose that on the road. I know the road games may not mean as much this year, but I think they'll lose at the Raiders as well, another division game. And usually the Raiders and Denver and the Chargers play better in division. I think they lose at Tampa, and I think they lose at the Saints. I think they go 12-4.
Okay. I see that definitely. I was like, I didn't think you'd say the Saints. I thought you would say you might lose to the Bucks rather than the Saints. I thought you'd get that. You say you got to win with the Saints versus the Bucks.
I think Mahomes got to deal with when he lost to Brady that one time. That kept us from going to the Super Bowl the year before. I don't think he's gonna have no more problems with Brady.
Okay.
I can find him the next year.
That makes sense. Tim or Greg, any thoughts real quick?
The difference there, I'm going to say 14-2. I think I don't know which ones it's going to be. I think you're going to lose 2 between at Baltimore, at Tampa Bay, and at New Orleans. 2 of those are going to be losses.
Okay, 2 of the 3 makes sense. And Jets, Greg.
I'm gonna go ahead and give them the 13-3. I think they'll say 3 teams that actually beat them. They're gonna be coasting anyway, beat the hell out of everybody else, so it's not gonna matter. They're still gonna win the division, so they could be 13-3. I can see that.
Okay. Did you say one of those wins coming from your Jets, or one of the losses come from the Jets?
Right now, Ronnie, you playing games right now, man.
Oh no, I didn't know. I didn't know which teams you said he was losing to. I just wanted to ask you real quick. My fault, Sam. What you saying?
No, I was just going to say, I have them beating the Chargers both times, but don't sleep on that last game of the year. You never know. The Chiefs could have the 1 seed locked up, and they could lose that game against the Chargers if it means nothing, especially if Greg Irvin is correct and they're like 15-1 at that point. So you never know with that.
That's true. I'll go ahead and say 12-4, 13-3 as well. Falcons fan, I'm saying y'all losing the game. We're gonna be rolling by then. We're gonna be rolling. We're gonna have some type of rhythm. So y'all taking a loss to 2 out of the 3 NFC South teams y'all play. So
by then, Gurley will have he'll be on the bench.
You think so?
Whatever he got hurt.
Man, Gurley's playing all 16. We ready. Gurley looking fresh. We're good. And we got backups. We're good. We're good on the backfield. I'm gonna move on to Greg's Jets. We'll go through his schedule real quick, so it might be a little quick. But first game of the year, Bills.
Lost.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
49ers. Y'all got pretty tough.
Lost.
Okay.
Big loss.
Colts.
Lost.
I thought a yes was, or a win was coming. All right, Broncos.
Loss.
Okay, starting out 0-4. Cardinals.
Loss.
To the Cardinals? Y'all don't think you got a chance? I mean, yeah, they got my fault. I forgot the type of year they've had. Yeah, that might be a loss.
Is it a home game or away game?
It is a home game.
We might, but I doubt it. We can't figure out. We don't got nothing to cover Kingsbury. That offense, we can't figure that out. So that's a loss.
If you're 0-5, Gase may be gone.
Yeah, by then.
We're getting close. We're getting close. Watch this. Keep going.
Chargers.
You might sneak one in there. Right there. We might sneak one in there, man.
All right, 1-5. Okay, Adam Gase survives another week. Bills.
Loss.
He's out of there, right there. Okay, Chiefs.
Here's the 39-point one here.
Like, Chiefs.
This is when he's out of it. This is the loss where he's gone right here.
All right. Well, it's like that's no fun. I mean, that's one they should know they're gonna lose. You can't kick him out when they know he's gonna lose.
Devastating that the whole city's gonna call for his head.
Okay.
It's not gonna
right.
be competitive.
Makes sense. Patriots.
Is that home or away?
It's home.
On Monday
Win.
night.
Yeah.
Win.
On Monday night. Okay.
Right after Gase is gone.
Yeah,
the interim gets the win.
Yeah, that's typically how it goes. I won't count that out. I'll say it's a possibility. So that's two. I think it's what 2-7, 2-8.
We play the Patriots at the end of the season, and I know we're not going to win that. So I got to snatch this first one. Our whole life depends on it. That's a win.
Okay. Dolphins.
Win.
Oh, it's back-to-back Dolphins. I think I got a bye week. Yeah.
Both. I'm taking
Okay,
both.
2 wins. So we're getting it rolling. So that's 3 wins in a row. All right, Raiders.
The way they keep getting injured, win.
4 in a row. Okay. So this is when we pick up steam. This is almost like last year.
This is how we do. This is why we always get picked 16 and stuff like that. This is what we do.
Seahawks.
Loss.
Okay. Rams.
Loss.
Browns.
Damn, Tim. I might have to do it to you, Tim. I need this win, Tim.
Hey, that's gonna be a game with big 30 interceptions.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure Odell hurt and Njoku's hurt by then, and win. I need that win.
And then
Baker versus Darnold, pretty interesting matchup.
That will be an interesting matchup, actually.
Yeah, considering I don't think we got him last year because he was out with mono.
Yeah.
That's a cheap shot. That was a cheap shot.
I was waiting all episode. I was hoping someone would throw that in there. I was hoping someone would throw that in there on the if Darnold would win or be playing all 16 games.
Don't do me like that. He's not kissing dirty girls no more. We're good. We're good.
And then the final one, you said they were going to take the loss to Patriots.
I mean, that's how the Patriots going to either be second in the division or first in the division is that last game. Belichick not going to let that game go. So
yeah.
So
looking like 5-11.
Now, one thing though, I'm just counting on paper what it looks like right now. There's some injuries, and that's when we slip in and get that 6 or that 7 based on somebody being hurt. But we need a whole lot of stuff to happen to win those extra 2 games. But what I laid out, I think, is what we can pull off.
Solid. I mean, not solid, but
No.
it's like makes sense.
Solid thoughts.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Sammy's Colts.
Wait, can we talk about Greg's Jets?
Oh yeah, my fault. Yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah, I would say I actually agree with the 5-11 record. I'm going to shock you right now. I think that they beat San Francisco at home in week 2. And everybody goes – listen. First of all, even though there's no fans probably, San Francisco going all the way from West Coast to East Coast. That may be a 1 o'clock game. That a lot of times those West Coast teams come in. It's like Seattle. They lose those games. Obviously, if San Francisco wins that game, I'm not going to be surprised at all. But I have the Jets pulling the upset. I actually have them starting 3-2. I have them beating Denver and Arizona at home. But then I have them falling off a little bit. I have them beating the Dolphins at home. And then that's 4 wins. Oh, and then the Raiders at home as well. So I think they win. I think they win about 5 games, 5-11. But early, people in New York, those headlines are going to be very interesting, which is interesting because Greg Jets had a different kind of 5-11.
5-11, yeah. Yeah, that would be a pretty cool win. And you're right, they do play that game at 1:00, so that West Coast East Coast trip is going to be a little bit difficult for them. And
Plus,
I also
San Francisco,
they're not.
They're going to come in there thinking they're going to get an easy win.
Yeah, yeah.
Who answers for Kittle? Who answers that?
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
Jamal
But
Adams in Seattle is going to be on him.
in my brain too. I want it to work in my head too. But I keep
The-
saying we just got rid of our safety.
mhm.
Who's gonna get that guy?
Mhm.
The important thing is that Sam has the Jets going 0-3 in this chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing
Yeah.
to the Colts, Chiefs, and the Browns.
Yeah. And I would say real quick, Greg, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you already stamped. I don't know if you have anything to say because you said he's going to maybe go 2-3
Well,
wins.
I'm
Did he-
gonna amend my 2-3 after hearing the schedule. He said 5. I'm gonna give him 4 because I'm not giving him that one against Cam. I can't give him that one, so we
Can't
going
give it to him.
5 minus 1. I'll give you 4.
You just
All right.
made me lose all my divisional games.
Yes.
How is that
yes,
possible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me Trevor Lawrence then. Give me Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor in New York
hey.
got a little ring to it. A little
Hey.
bit of a ring.
Hey.
All right, we're gonna move on to Indianapolis, Sammy's Colts. So the first game you guys have is the Jaguars,
Yeah, I think that's a win.
Vikings.
I think that's a win. No Stephon Diggs.
Okay, yeah, true. Jets.
Win.
Okay, Bears.
I ain't like
All right, so I actually had this as a loss early on at Chicago. Like, it's a game you should easily win, but I'll say win. 4-0 start.
Okay, Browns.
I actually think they lose this game. It's in Cleveland, and you know they're coming in 4-0. I don't think they're going to go undefeated, so I think they lose this game.
Yep. Okay, Bengals.
Win.
Lions.
I think they get upset. I don't like the Lions at all, but at Detroit, if Stafford's still healthy at that point, and you know
Yeah.
you never know on a road game.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, especially if he's healthy. Hopefully, Ravens.
Yeah, these next couple, I'm going to start shocking you guys. It's at home, and the Colts are very well coached. I think they win that game.
Okay, nice.
Don't
pick
forget
up.
what they did to Kansas City last year, even though they weren't that good. I think they win that game at home.
Titans.
I think it's on the road, so I'll go loss.
Packers.
And then here's another home game against a really good team. I think they win this game.
All right. Cole. Oh, my fault. Titans again,
Titans at home, they'll win that game.
and then Texans.
On the road, Texans, I think they could lose. Deshaun's really good. He should get one against the Colts this year.
Okay, cool. So we got losses right now with Texans, Lions, and Browns. All right, cool. And then Raiders.
And Tennessee.
Oh, my fault. And Tennessee.
Yeah, Raiders, they should win that game. Again, John Gruden, it's hard to know what the Raiders are going to do sometimes, but they should win that game.
Mhm. Then Texans at home. I keep saying Colts.
They'll split with the Texans, so they'll get this win.
Yeah. Steelers.
At Pittsburgh, I'm not that high on the Steelers, but the Colts have really struggled against Pittsburgh over the last 5-10 years, even when they've been good. So I think they lose this game on the road.
All right. And then the Jags to finish off the year.
And then I think they wrap it up home win against the Jags, so 11-5.
Makes sense. 11-5. All right. Any
The last thing I'll say real quick is the schedule is pretty easy. I mean, the Colts aren't a team that everybody's picking to win the Super Bowl, but the schedule is pretty easy. I had them losing to Detroit. I know I had them winning some upsets with the Ravens and Packers, but I think 11-5 is pretty reasonable because I did have them losing, the Browns game they could win, the Lions game they could win, Houston without Hopkins. So we'll see.
Mhm. True. Like you said, I mean, looking at it, playoff teams from last year, Vikings, Titans, Packers, Ravens, and that's it. Everybody else is, in the Wolves. So makes sense. Anybody got any, comments, concerns? Jets, Greg didn't really seem to think you guys are gonna upset the Ravens.
Well, I got him. He gave him 5 losses. I'm giving him 6, but I think 10-6 is still enough to squeak into one of those
Playoff spot.
low playoff spots. So
So they don't win the division?
they don't win the division. but I do think they beat the Tennessee Titans. I think the Titans. We saw what the Titans could do. That was the best thing. I think the Titans take a step back. I think Deshaun is still going to win the South, and Colts right there behind them.
All right, cool. Let me see. And if anybody else has any other comments, I'm gonna wrap up with Tim. Like I said before, it's still one of the more interesting teams to me. And I really haven't seen the Browns schedule until just now. So it's be interesting to see what you'll say. So we're starting off the year in the division with the Ravens.
Yeah, that's going to be a loss. We're not going to win opening game on the road in Baltimore.
Bengals.
Yeah, we're going to wipe the floor. I love Joe Burrow, but week 2 in Cleveland, no. So that's a win for us.
The Washington football team.
That's a win.
The Cowboys.
This is one I have as a toss-up, but for easy scoring, it's on the road in Dallas. I'll count it as a loss.
Okay, 2-2. Colts.
This is another toss-up one that I think I'll count it the other way. I think Cleveland wins this one at home, coming off that Dallas loss.
All right, cool. And then Browns. I mean, I thought Steelers. I keep saying y'all teams' names.
On the road in Pittsburgh, I think we're going to drop that one. I think we're split in Pittsburgh, and we'll lose. We'll do a home and home.
Okay, cool. And then Bengals again. I'm guessing. Win.
Not with Cincinnati. We're winning.
Okay. Raiders.
Coming back home. That's a win for us.
All right, cool. So I think we're at 5-3 right now. Texans.
So I know Deshaun was at home coming off a bye week. I think we can the Texans. They lost a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland. Deshaun Watson.
And then Eagles.
This is another main for me. We're at 5-3. I'll count this one as we'll win this one, I think, actually.
All right. Jaguars.
We're going to win in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm. Titans.
This one was a heartbreak for us last year. They kind of signaled to us it wasn't really going to be what we thought it was going to be. On the road in Tennessee, we dropped it.
You say you drop it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Ravens.
I think we split with the Ravens. Monday night, we'll have that extra night at home on Monday Night Football. I think we steal this one.
Okay. So split with the
Especially
Ravens.
making a playoff push.
Mm-hmm. Giants.
This is a trap for us. We've got back-to-back games in New York. I think we drop one of the two. I don't know whether it's the Giants or the Jets, but we're dropping one of them. I think we're going to kind of come off of that Baltimore game a little high on our plates, and one of those two games we're going to drop in New York.
Cool. And then you already said you're going to split with the Steelers. So what I'm hearing is split with Steelers and Ravens. That's 2. Then we lose against what you call it?
Dallas, Tennessee, and one of the.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Should be 10.
10. Yeah. Either 10, was it 11-5 or you said 10-6?
I might have said 11-5.
Yeah.
I think it's 11-6 season. I think we can go 12-4, but I think it's 10-6.
Yeah, 11-5. Yeah, Titans, Steelers, Ravens, one of the New York teams, and Texans. So yeah, 11-5. Any everybody think that's about right, or they dropping one, they're adding one?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Greg.
Well, I got them losing one more. So, and it's interesting because then that puts y'all 10-6 with the Colts. So we'll see which one of you guys can squeeze in there.
It come down to that Indianapolis Cleveland game is like a tiebreaker.
Yeah, it might be pretty important throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean, I actually was pretty amazed when I was listening to Tim because we had basically the exact same thing up until that Jacksonville game, we had the same exact stuff. I have them losing at Baltimore, at Dallas, at Pittsburgh. And then I actually have the trap game. The Browns are going to Brown. I have them losing at Jacksonville. I think Minshew shocks them. But I think they beat both New York teams. But I agree with Tim. They could easily lose one of those games. And then I have them losing both to the Ravens, although they obviously could split. And then I have them losing at Tennessee. So 10-6, but very similar game-by-game predictions to Tim.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Jets, Greg?
All right, so I'm not crazy. This is still the Browns.
It is.
It's 2020.
Right. It's
2020 Browns.
Like you said, the way the Browns are set up, they can get to the Super Bowl and they'll cancel the season. It's a Browns thing. You with us.
You with
That
us.
both together. So I'm gonna just ratchet it back one more and say something silly happened, and it was 9-6. I think Phillip Rivers don't. Like I said, he don't care. The thing I'd like to see is that Browns Indy game, because I'm like, they both got two good running backs. They're gonna be pounding the rock all day, but who has the better receivers? That could make that makes a difference. That makes a difference.
And who has the better quarterback?
Ooh.
I think me. But...
Young blood versus
I
old
don't know
blood.
if Baker got that far.
That game might have 4 picks.
I don't think Baker got up high enough to reach to where he is yet.
Defensively, the Colts, one thing with the Colts is they may not pop off the page anywhere other than offensive line, which is boring to some football fans, but they pretty much don't have any weaknesses either, which is a really good thing. Again, like they're not the best offense in the league, they're not the best defense in the league, but they really don't have any weaknesses at any position group.
You just told me Buckner's on your team. Do you know what he's going to do to the middle of any line?
It's going to be great.
Go one way or the other, and then you got that. What's that defensive end?
Well, Justin Houston and then Darius Leonard at linebacker.
So you got a problem. You got major problems wherever you go. But DeForest Buckner is what forces these guys out, and you got those guys coming from each end. Man, and they got the safeties too. Oh man.
Yeah. No, they should be good. They really don't have any weakness. If Phillip Rivers plays like 2 years ago instead of 1 year ago, Phillip Rivers, they're going to be very good.
Boom. I agree.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys for. Of course, I'm gonna let you guys talk. Let everyone know where to find you guys, find your podcast, where to follow you at, why they should vote you on to the final round, the Super Bowl of our Smackdown this year. But like I said, definitely appreciate you guys coming on, answering all the questions. We picked on Greg a lot tonight, but he held in like a champ, and also talking about Jacob Blake and everything in the beginning. But like I said, I'll let you guys finish out, and I'll start, of course, with our world champ today, Greg Irvin, and then we'll work our way around.
Well, as you guys know, 15-1 is what we decided. And since it happened on this show, it's facts. It's all facts when it's on this show. So 15-1, we go into the Super Bowl. Been fun chopping it up with you guys. I'm gonna be sure to check out Buzzer Beaters in Hometown. Make sure you put the link in the chat so I can check you guys out for sure.
Yes, sir. Sammy?
Yeah, definitely. I could even become friends with you guys on Facebook because that's where I post it every Tuesday night. So the link will be there on my Facebook page. But yeah, I had a great time talking to you guys. Can't believe almost 2 hours, but I could do this for another 2 hours easily. Again, like you were saying, we picked on Greg's Jets. We didn't pick on Greg. Greg came to play, and obviously me, Tim, and Jets Greg would all be in trouble if it were just based on whose football team is the best, because obviously the Chiefs got that. But I think we all had a great time today. I'd love to be voted into the next round. Any of these guys deserve it. But if you guys like hearing about the Colts, a little bit of a team that maybe doesn't get a lot of respect in the media, you don't hear about too much, definitely vote me in and I'll bring it in the championship round. But I think whoever comes out of this bracket is going to beat whoever comes out of the NFC for sure. So appreciate it, Jelani. Thanks, guys.
Oh, no, of course. Appreciate you guys. Tim, Hometown Crowd.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. This was a lot of fun. You can find us at Hometown Crowd on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We have a Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Hometown Crowd Pod. We're part of the 910 Comedy Network. So if you have interest outside of football or sports, we've got a couple of mortuary affairs people who do a show, a couple of comedians, and then my wife and I do one too. So you can find that on 910 Comedy. Had a great time. Looking forward to talking more trash with you guys, assuming the season actually happens.
Yeah. And then Greg, Jets Greg. I don't know why I love saying Jets Greg.
All right, man. It's your boy Greg. I'm on YouTube, Manhood AF. Pull that up. There's some good stuff on there. Thanks for having me on here. It was cool. Now, it would have been real nice if Detroit, the Jaguars, and maybe some other team was on here. Maybe I could talk a little smack, but I didn't want anybody to think I was on a narcotic talking crazy. So I had to keep it 100% with everybody. But just know that in my mind's eye, I'm really hoping that we can go 2-14 and somehow get into the top. We need a top pick. We need a top pick. I need to get a new QB. We're not going to draft a running back. So just know my goal is to lose every game. Gase to get fired at game 5. We just do a free-for-all party going for it, and we get Trevor Lawrence in the next draft. This year's a wash. Why go for it? But, hey, thanks for inviting me on, and hopefully I win and get to the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir. Of course, and of course, y'all guys already notified me at what the game means to me podcast on Instagram, on Facebook, and then WTGMTM podcast on Twitter. Be on the lookout for the poll. Of course, should be able to get it posted either by tomorrow or Saturday. Regardless, of course, I'll let you guys know first, and then you can disperse it out to you guys' crowd. But thanks again for you guys coming on, representing your squads. It was a joy. Like Sam said, it's been about 2 hours. I wasn't expecting to do it this long, but I can do another 2 hours with you guys. I love talking sports, love talking football. I'm glad, was able to get you guys on here tonight. Thanks everyone for, dealing with me and my camera issues. I'll get it right next episode. And like Sammy said, I kind of think whoever comes out of the NFC doesn't really have much of a chance. So you might just be looking at one of the champions right here. So appreciate you guys again for coming on, and that does it for another episode of What the Game Means to Me, NFL Smack Talk Smackdown. Peace, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Later, guys.
Yes, sir.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win!
Don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna set it for you real quick. LOB.
Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Lewis gets it to LeBron for three for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer. Pass is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
What was your mindset when you stepped in the batter's box?
Go yard. I mean, I'm a pitcher. Why not swing as hard as I can? I got nothing to lose.
It's nothing to man above. Don't put you in situations that you can't handle. Instead of saying, why me? They're saying this is what he want me to do. And Cleveland, this is for you.
The way we approach the game is the same way we approach life. You do the right thing. You make the right play. Make the right play. And in life, it's the same thing. What do you feel in your heart is the right thing to do? And you do that. You know, it seems so simple, but sometimes the simplest things are the hardest things to do. And I think it's just that.
Welcome to
What? The game.
Me.
To me.
Here's Michael at the shot on Elo. Hey! The win! The win!
Don't you open your mouth. Set it for you real quick.